Speed has always been the defining factor in horse racing. Over the years, some horses have shattered records, proving they are the fastest on the track. Today, we count down the top 15 fastest horses ever recorded, based on official race speeds. Stay till the end to see the fastest horse of all time. 15th Ruffian, 40.3 miles per hour. Ruffian, the legend. She was more than a racehorse and is considered the greatest filly of all time, unbeaten in the races she finished. Speed unmatched, even leading races from start to finish. She was born back in 1972 and immediately began her impact on the sport with her incredible performance by winning her first 10 races. Ruining the already existing speed records, she would make a huge mess of the track. However, this did not last forever. Her career was brought to a tragic end after a showdown match race against Kentucky Derby winner Foolish Pleasure, due to which injury befell Ruffian. Although she was operated upon, she could be termed a lost horse. Speed historian Ruffian's competitive spirit, even decades after her career ended, is still legendary. She changed the industry of horse racing for the present day, still affecting future generations of racehorses and fans. 14. John Henry, 40.4 miles per hour. Unlike many champions, John Henry was not bred from a great pedigree. Yet he proved that sheer will and stamina can match great genetics. Born in 1975, life was unkind and unyielding toward him. The most natural considerations ruled him out: small in size and untamed temperament. When turned out on the racecourse, he was turned loose to run as an unbeatable machine. No wonder he was considered one of the most powerful racehorses of his time because of his ability to run at high speeds over long distances. Winning 2 Horse of the Year titles and many additional major championships during his career, John Henry was the triumph of persistence. He continued to earn favor with fans even in retirement, living to an astonishing age of 32, a rare factor among racehorses. The life of John Henry proves that greatness is not necessarily born, it is made. If you are enjoying this listing, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It inspires us to bring you even more incredible content. 13. Native Dancer, 40.55 miles per hour. Native Dancer, otherwise known as the Gray Ghost, was one of the most famous racehorses of the 1950s. With his spectacular gray coat and extraordinary racing feats, he will always remain in the memory of horse racing lovers. Native Dancer was born in 1950 and had an incredible record: 21 victories from 22 races. His only loss came in the 1953 Kentucky Derby, where he was beaten by a whisker. He followed that with victories in the Preakness Stakes and Belmont Stakes. The significance of Native Dancer, however, is felt more in his genetic influence. Almost every modern thoroughbred racehorse today, therefore, traces back to him, giving proof that his speed and stamina were transmitted from generation to generation. Today, the champion legacy lives on in the offspring of the fastest racehorses. 12th Buckpasser, 40.6 miles per hour. Indeed, Buckpasser was the horse that ran in a very unusual way. He started very slowly and finished with blinding speed. While sports followers surged to the wind early on, Buckpasser conserved energy for his powerful closing speed, which would destroy all. Born in 1963, he has a very special makeup to his genes. It contained rare markers for speed and stamina. Hence, he could perform short as well as long-distance races, making him one of the most respected racehorses in history. Buckpasser was one of the greatest horses in horse racing history, besides being one of the most infallible racehorses. His lineage still dominates in the sport, demonstrating that his genetic potential was just as valuable as his speed. He had it all, from powerful finishes to an everlasting legacy in breeding. Buckpasser had it on the horse racing world all. 11th, Dr. Fager, 40.7 miles per hour. There have never been fewer horses like Dr. Fager, whose power and endurance were astonishing. He was built for speed and has carried as much as 134 pounds in one of his greatest victories, even a weight that would slow most horses down. Yet he managed to break records. He was born in 1964. His most well-known achievement was the distance record, which stood for over 30 years. Unlike many racehorses, the tempo was not a tactic for him. He simply ran from the startup to the end. His relentless speed and stamina rendered him a nightmare to most competition. His races were won with pure aggression and set records that stood for decades. Even now, they mention his name among the best racehorses of all time. Dr. Fager was not simply fast, he was a machine built for racing. 10. Seattle Slew, 40.8 miles per hour. Seattle Slew was one horse who ruled. Just about every champion seems to have faced an early defeat, but Seattle Slew triumphed in the Triple Crown undefeated. Seattle Slew was foaled in 1974, and his strongest weapon was his heart, literally. Studies conducted several years later indicated that he had an abnormally large heart, which allowed him to pump increased quantities of blood laden with oxygen to his muscles, thereby affording him supreme stamina during long races with speed retention reduced to the absolute minimum. With those long strides and that sprinting power, he was almost invincible. Even after he retired, he had an impact. In fact, Seattle Slew became one of the greatest singers of all time, passing on his speed and stamina to future stars. From a humble purchase of $17,500 to attaining Triple Crown status, Seattle Slew's account is a case of a legend made, not born. 9th, Kilo, 40.9 miles per hour. Kilo was a horse much ahead of his time. While most racehorses decline after their prime years, Kilo amazed everyone by maintaining maximum speed even in old age, a rare phenomenon in the sport. Kilo was born in the 1980s. He was not a one-time champion. He was the dominant one for years, winning Horse of the Year honors for 5 consecutive years, thus building up an aura of respectability for himself in racing history. Kilo's greatness lay in the fact that he could hold his maximum speed over many seasons. While others developed burnout quicker due to rigorous training, Kilo sustained the top due to his superior endurance and strength. His long life proves that speed is not only about breeding, it involves care, training, and the will to win. Kilo is, and will always be, the very symbol of consistency in horse racing and greatness beyond definition. 8. Citation, 41.1 miles per hour. If you are to speak of dominance in horse racing, one name cannot be omitted: Citation. He was one of the first racehorses to earn over $1 million, proving that speed and consistency could bring massive rewards. Born in 1945, Citation had long, flowing strides, making high speeds look so easy. He not only won races, he made winning look easy, often leaving the competition with yawns well behind. Among such honors, winning Citation 19 straight races was possibly the most remarkable, this streak being a wonderful testimonial to his unmatched dominance. Also, the cunningness that he possessed on the racetrack surely set him apart. While numerous horses would execute the perfect start, Citation could adjust mid-race and find a way to win. The legacy of Citation casts a long shadow over contemporary racehorses. Many modern champions are bred from Citation's bloodline. There is no question that Citation's line of speed and stamina now carries into the present, determining the future of horse racing. 7. Spectacular Bid, 41.3 miles per hour. To talk about a horse that was speed incarnate, Spectacular Bid would make the perfect specimen. Whereas other sprinters were good at short trip bursts, he could keep doing full pelt for a longer distance, making him almost unbeatable in his prime. Born in 1976, Brilliant was what most people could say about Spectacular Bid. At one time, his jockey had observed that riding him was like riding a machine, for he flew from pace to even smoother stride to pace, to win increasingly by the quantum. By now, almost at the threshold of persecution, having won 26 out of 30 lifetime starts, the Kentucky Derby and Preakness Stakes are already filed for selection as trophies. Although his raw speed was astonishing, it was his ability to persevere under speed when others would go off that set him apart. Whereas other horses would typically wind down and slow their trip, Spectacular Bid would continue through, leaving the competition in his wake. Even at this juncture, he is recognized as one of the most complete racehorses in history, boasting elite speed and endurance. 6. Northern Dancer, 41.5 miles per hour. To win at top speed, a horse needs strong genes more than speed, and one horse that proved it the best was Northern Dancer himself. The selected year is 1961 for the birth of Northern Dancer, the most talked about finesse of his racing as well as breeding fame. As a racehorse, he broke records, winning the Kentucky Derby in record time. But undoubtedly, his greatest impact is after he retired. His progeny have over 635 stakes wins globally, establishing him as the most influential sire in the history of racing. Recent genetic studies affirm that Northern Dancer's blood carries fast twitch muscle fibers, which, abutting other factors, really make him extremely quick to accelerate. Thus, this comes down as a genetic power passed down in offspring, and so was handed over until it buttressed the present-day world of horse racing. Sure, he was not one of the fastest on the list, but his genes continue to show in many of the fastest champions today. Northern Dancer was not just another contender in the racing world, he was a dynasty. Now it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. We've covered some of the greatest racehorses in history, but now we enter a whole new league. The final 5 contenders are in a class of their own, each one pushing the limits of what we thought was possible. Get ready, because the fastest horses in history are coming up next. 5. Black Caviar, 41.8 miles per hour. Undefeated, unstoppable. Black Caviar was a horse that redefined dominance. Born in 2006, Black Caviar did what most thought was impossible, winning 25 races in a row, never tasting loss in her entire career. It is fantastic to win that many races, but to do so without a single defeat is a hallmark of a true legend. Probably one of her best strengths was her ability to carry much more weight than her competitors and yet win the race. It was possible here to become a national figure, with audiences filling racetracks to witness the pure power of a racehorse in motion. After retirement, Black Caviar is still one of the most adored horses in all of racing history. Her legacy hasn't been just about speed. She became an icon of perfection, resilience, and pure athleticism. Just 4 horses are left in the countdown, but trust me, you wouldn't want to miss the next ones. The speeds are getting crazier. 4. EasyJet, 42 miles per hour. When we talk about explosive acceleration, then no horse defines that better than EasyJet. Unlike most horses from this list, EasyJet was a quarter horse, the one that is specifically built for short-distance sprints. EasyJet was born in 1967 and was a real razzer, the only horse that could dominate the quarter-mile races where the quarter horses were always expected to beat the Thoroughbreds. With Thoroughbreds built to be strong for longer distances, quick horses have shorter sprint definitions, and EasyJet was one of the most skillful. Pushed beyond his early speed, EasyJet became the legend of sprint racing, posting a career record of 27 wins in 38 starts, which proves in short bursts he was speedier than most Thoroughbreds have ever recorded. Even in his retirement, his impact on the quarter horse racing industry was enormous. His lineage is still producing champions today, making EasyJet not just a record holder, but a fundamental figure in racing history. 3. Secretariat, 42.5 miles per hour. Some names in horse racing never fade, and one of them is Secretariat. Big Red is the synonymous term for Secretariat, a prestigious equine in history associated with one of the foremost racehorses to ever grace this earth. That historic moment in time came during the 1973 Belmont Stakes, where he not only won the race, but destroyed the field by more than 31 lengths, a record that still stands. That race is frequently referred to as the single greatest performance in horse racing. Even after 50 years, his name still stands in the record books, as he holds all 3 track records for the Triple Crown. No horse has come close to touching it. His strides, which measured nearly 25 feet, allowed him to cover ground faster than any horse was able to do, either before or after him. Additionally, his heart was abnormally large, being estimated to weigh around 22 pounds, making him unmatched in endurance and strength. Secretariat did not just win races. What the Secretariat did was redefine our concepts in horse racing. Believe it or not, there are still 2 horses faster than that. 2. Man of War, 43 miles per hour. Before Secretariat, the horse who many consider to be the greatest racehorse of all time was Man o' War. Born in 1917, Man o' War was the terror of the turf, in an age when racing technology and training were nowhere near present levels. Yet with those, he achieved speeds that even modern-day horses would find it hard to match. He won 20 out of 21 races, and the one race he lost in was because he had a really poor start. In so many of his victories, he would carry a lot more weight than his rivals, and still come home lengths ahead. Although he never ran the Kentucky Derby, Man o' War's influence on the sport is unparalleled. He has sired champions upon champions, influencing generations of racehorses. Some say, had he run today, with the modern-day track surfaces and training methods, he might have been the fastest ever. Yet there is one horse who officially holds the record for the fastest speed on record. 1. Winning Brew, 43.97 miles per hour. The fastest horse ever. And here it is, the fastest horse ever in recorded history. Meet Winning Brew, a thoroughbred filly who shattered expectations. In 2008, at the Penn National Racecourse, Winning Brew reached a mind-blowing speed of 43.97 miles per hour, earning her a Guinness World Record as the fastest racehorse ever recorded. To put that in perspective, that is faster than most residential speed limits. Winning Brew, while not immortalized like Secretariat or Man o' War, has proved that raw speed has no peer. Fame, it seems, has very little to do with it. Raw speed is strictly a matter of scientific timing and scientific record-keeping. Her record run still stands as a gold standard. Perhaps someday, with even better training and breeding, some new champion will surpass her. But for now, Winning Brew remains undisputed as the fastest horse of all time. Speed is everything in horse racing, and as we've seen, some horses have pushed the limits of possibility. With modern breeding, training innovations, and advanced nutrition, who knows what records will be broken next? Which of these legendary racehorses amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you loved this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.